My friends, I always ask, how many times have you gotten upset since the last session? Did you change the mind? When the mind is upset, reacting, agitated, based on these principles, do you feel you are improving? I'm going to take up a topic. I don't name the topic until the end. You have to recognize that topic. And that is the source of millions of troubles in our life. It takes place, very good, Ashok. You joined it. So it gives you trouble in the family, it gives you the trouble in your professional life, social life, and we are not aware of it. The moment you recognize it, only recognition, moment you recognize it, it dissolves by itself. But it dissolves by itself if you have understood the previous sessions for the last 8 weeks, which includes likes and dislikes, sorrow and the happiness, ignorance, the impurities of the mind. I'm giving a hint. Do you want to prove somewhere something, or do you want to improve in your life? Such a simple thing. Are you improving by your thought, speech, and action, or you are proving yourself? Are you evolving, or are you involving yourself? One word that defines everything. You all are seekers. Are you rising in consciousness or falling in consciousness? One guy abused me and then he wrote sorry, and then he said that I received almost 40-50 emails. That's a part of the journey of the teachers in Eastern wisdom. So then he said that I fall in love with you. I said, no, I don't love you. Don't fall in love with me. It is not required. I'm giving a hint. Find out that word which defines all these things. Unless we get rid of this from the mind, there is no improvement, there is no evolution. Ultimately, it backs you. I call this is a problem of ID. Have you heard the word discernment and dispassion? An opposite of discernment and dispassion, I discussed in detail duality and a delusion. And now another pair I am explaining. Or you can say DD again. Digestion problem and diarrhea. No, not that diarrhea and digestion problem. It's a problem of digestion of the mind, indigestion in the mind, and diarrhea in the mind. Find out that word. Constantly thinking. So that defines whether you are improving, evolving, rising in consciousness, or you are falling in consciousness, you are proving yourself, you are involving yourself. Indigestion simply means the food is not digested. So what it has to do with the mind? The knowledge is not digested. This is what I am saying. And diarrhea, you already know the knowledge. Sometimes people say that I hear from one ear and I throw it from the other ear. That knowledge is not settled. Why the knowledge is not settled? Because I keep my old habit, old reactions and agitations, old inhibitions at one compartment of the mind. I keep that in one compartment of the mind, and the other compartment keeps on learning intellectually. You say I'm learning, you say I'm improving, but that compartment triggers such a tremendous reaction. Ah, there is nothing in the Eastern wisdom. Beer guy is crazy. Yes, I'm crazy. That's why I'm teaching. It's so simple. And that applies to your relationship, that applies to your professionals. It is all about the evolution of the mind. You have to find out that word. I'm not telling you the name of that problem that contains commander-in-chief that I discussed, the ego part, ignorance, delusion, sorrow and happiness, likes and dislikes, but we do not realize it. What label we give to the people when we suffer from indigestion and diarrhea of the mind. What happens? First we blame, we complain, we react, we get agitated, we rationalize what we think is right. We are not able to keep that knowledge on one side and my ignorance on the other side. This is one of the greatest challenges our mind that lives in ignorance. Have you seen that there is an instant reaction? Instant reaction. Sometimes we hide it, sometimes we express it, sometimes we say that it is enough, and we break our relationship, we enter into the agitation, and sometimes it helps. Like Ashok has been learning. He met with such a severe accident, and then at least one thing you all witness, that he is able to maintain that state of awareness. I have reasons to believe that is also one of the greatest reasons for his speedy recovery. Did you understand that part, that we hide our habits, our inhibitions, our wrong notions on one compartment of the mind? On the other compartment, I keep on learning intellectually, I understand learning, and at last it blasts. That compartment ignites. It's like a volcano. I'm using the words, very strong words, to make you understand. You have to contemplate and reflect whether what masters are teaching is right or not. I don't want to name any person, but I just want to tell you without naming a person. One guy told me that you're always asking you're always praising and appreciating the Americans and not the Indians. You have a very partial, or what you can say, whatever you say that. One word defines that. Sorrow and the sorrow and the joy that we discussed, likes and dislikes we discussed, and that is part of the impurities of the mind. It is the tip of the iceberg. And the iceberg is this, what we are discussing today. People have problems. People have challenges. But that compartment triggers, it becomes a volcano, and you instantly drop learning. Now, why don't you teach everything in one session? Yes, I can teach. So simple to teach. There is one real self, unitary, one consciousness present everywhere in all the beings. The rest is the non-self. That is the end of the teaching. So we cannot get it. That is why this learning goes slowly, step by step. You miss one step, that comes. There is another way to explain. Pick up a point. There is a great master, Ramakrishna. So in our text, it says that when you take a dip in the Ganges river, all your sins are washed away. Sins means unfavorable condition. Don't go into the religious context. Sins I have already discussed. Sins means in life when I experience unfavorable condition, breaking in relationship, my mind is constantly subjected by the sorrow and the joy, reaction, anger and agitation are the effects of those sins. Clear? Say yes, you have understood that. So Ramakrishna said, another seeker went to the Ramakrishna, the great master. He said, is it right that when I take a dip in the Ganges river, all the sins are washed? Ramakrishna says yes. We have to adhere to the teachings, but with the wisdom. So what he explained, Ramakrishna, as long as you are in the Ganges river, all those sins are waiting outside. At least one day you will come out of the river taking a bath, and again the sins will enter into you. Did you understand that? So as long as you are in a session, you are good, sir, you have a long beard, that is why I respect you, and just after that, that compartment triggers you. Okay, I have learned it. I know everything. That demands contemplation and reflection, my friends. I did it. It happened in my life, and especially against my teacher. So understand that clearly. That Eastern wisdom says contemplation and reflection is very important, so that I can see this principle, this knowledge, with reference to my life. Then only it can change me. Otherwise, he talks very good. That does not matter whether I talk good and bad. What matters whether that knowledge is properly digested, assimilated. You have received the knowledge, you have retained the knowledge, you have realized the knowledge. That point of realization drops and dissolves that small compartment which I am talking about. Think of it, what it is. One word. One word. Did you get it? Are you thinking that you know? Cause of the suffering, we discussed it about ignorance. I'm looking at the verse and then I will come down to yes. Now again I'm giving you a hint, think of it. We drag a person, situation, object to our level. That defines the word. What it means? I drag you. For example, I normally don't do it. I drag you, your situation, to my level. Why? Are you thinking? I drag you, your situation, your condition to my level because of I give value to my knowledge and my understanding. I don't want to understand you from your perspective. One example, I have already said, for example, a person has a very deep obsession for something, and now I am dragging you, giving the same value where my obsession is, then I will see you negatively. I see the entire world negatively. I bring the entire world into that small compartment. Did you get it? The one word that is known as jealousy. You have to listen to the entire talk again to see that that word is jealousy. First is the ignorance, or you start with the impurities of the mind. We have superimposition, I discussed. So superimposition gives a different picture, that is a delusion. And once we come to the level of the joy and the sorrow, then joy and the sorrow creates a very strong likes and dislikes. Mind says, no, I haven't. Intellect says, I have understood it. What's the problem? I know it. No, that smart compartment becomes a volcano unconsciously. It's a greater level of ignorance. So in jealousy, we drag the person's situation, object to our level, but in competition, we try to reach their level. Now, it doesn't mean that, you have a strong jealousy, then I should compete with you to reach to a greater jealousy level. You should not misunderstand it in a different way. Understand it clearly. My master used to say that you have 1 million thoughts of jealousy every day. Unconsciously, subconsciously. Your sense organ expresses that jealousy. Your eyes, your ears. Oh, you heard something? Yeah. No, she is beautiful. My expression. It keeps running through our mind like sometimes the nose is running because of the infection. You have to understand it clearly. You have to get rid of it. And you can only get rid of it by understanding. You cannot get rid of by any practice. Without understanding, you keep on doing the mindfulness or meditation practice, it will not work. You keep on doing the meditation, it will not work. You have to understand it. You have to understand it. The moment this is gone, you accelerate the journey of the self-enquiry. We give value to some person, some object, some place, some location, relation. That value is present in the world of people, place, things, and objects. What happens to the mind to think? Mind says others have it, I do not have it. Why we think so? Pay attention. Why we think so? Because we have value based on likes and dislikes. It is coming from the same likes and dislikes, sorrow and the joy. They are the impurities of the mind. After all, Commander-in-Chief, I thought, is ruling all of them, getting support of the sorrow and the joy. And that is why we say, we sit beside a person, he has a very negative vibration. No, you have a negative vibration. No one has any negative vibration. You are responsible for it. Don't go by so-called, pseudo-spiritualist people. If you are real self, if you are peace and happiness, how anyone's negative vibration can impact you? Come on, ask yourself. I don't want to go to very strong words for it. Think of it. You have to think. Get rid of those wrong notions. That is also a point of the jealousy. You see that I have such a good vibration, I am such a good guy. Look at this, I receive a negative vibration from those people. You are born with some special gift from the God. Don't go to those pseudo-spiritual people. It is better to leave them than keep on creating a wrong notion. Then what will happen? The first thing your mind will do wherever you go, or whether he or she has a negative or positive vibration. We are human beings. We can explore through the intellect. You need to understand this, my friend. If you do not understand, 1 million thoughts, feelings, expressions, actions are done every day because of this. The word is called jealousy. That what happens is called the jealousy. Mind says others have it. We don't realize it because of the delusion. I discussed in the last session, because of the superimposition. I do not have it. So why we think so? Because we have value based on the likes and dislikes, joy and sorrow. If you have a value based on the right knowledge, nothing happens. Done. Finished. It is just an attitude. I can tell you that compartment dissolves, melts away very fast. This is the last topic, I just wanted to give you that. It has to be the last in the journey of the impurities of the mind. I may be jealous of something near, not far. Not far. What does it mean? Biden is president, mind has no problem. Because I don't want to drag him to my position. I'm not a politician. I don't belong to any party. You see, understand. That is the beauty of these teachings of the Master. My neighbor has a big part. There comes the jealousy. Do you see? It's very near. So you recognize in that way. Forget about the neighbor. My honey, I have a problem with my honey. Do you see that? Jealousy picks up. It gives you such a beautiful expression. It hides itself by rationalizing. You rationalize. Our mind rationalizes. That compartment of the mind rationalizes this jealousy and gives a new color. I've seen, for example, this is just an example, don't take it. Some people take it, so they have a strong jealousy element. So that is also a big problem for the teaching of Eastern wisdom, because we want to be naked completely. Now I have seen Christina mingling with that guy and who is a criminal. Now see, I have added another rationalization to my mind. I don't know the situation. I don't know the condition. I don't know the relationship. But I have given value. I drag myself. Anything and everything can happen. Anything and everything. It blocks our mind completely from the knowledge in the wisdom. Completely blocks. And we rationalize. Look at this guy. Look at this girl. Look at this. Look at the political system. Look at the Biden. Look at the Trump. I can give you millions of examples. We carry those wrong notions which we do not become aware. That is what I refer to as, it's a digestive problem, it's a diarrhea problem, that we did not digest the knowledge completely. So either we suffer from indigestion or diarrhea. What I have to do for my peace when anyone is doing anything in the world? You first make that statement and make your mind clear, empty. We have to understand the difference between the jealousy and competition clearly. I try to reach to your level. In jealousy, I try to drag you to my own level. My level is already low. My level is already low because I have started thinking based on the likes and dislikes, sorrow and the joy. In jealousy, we drag we drag the other person to the lowest level possible. I give an example. I was giving a talk. I think I talked about it. Yeah, Anne Hoffman organized that. There were more than 20 only women. It was a women empowerment, and some topic was there. So I said, I love you all. And one woman stood up. She said, how can you love me? I'm already married. And later on I recognized, Anne told me that this woman has a lot of problem with her husband. You don't know how you take it. You don't know. So we have to be extremely careful in our thought, speech and action. Even if you are careful, if other drags you to their level and there is no solution, you have to take care. You have to remove that small compartment that causes a strained relationship, that causes the stress and suffering, that causes anxiety and duality. That I should appreciate. I have nothing to do with what you wear, how you talk. Look at this guy, how he or she is talking. Look at this, this is a function and what he is wearing. I can tell you, I have nothing to do with anything. Self-enquiry to eliminate this jealousy, I have to create a deeper understanding. Just remember, the moment the mind is going down, moving to such a low, I have to remember and remind myself what are my strong likes and dislikes, what causes me the joy and the sorrow in my life, and how the joy and the sorrow is superimposed by the delusion, and delusion does not allow me to see the reality, and what is happening, I'm more disturbed. Do you see that? We keep on thinking. Last point. Today's last point. What is the last point? My master used to tell us a good story that there were two disciples, like me, like Ashok. So one disciple invited my master into at his home for a dinner and to seek the blessing. Normally that is the trend. So, but the first disciple said that please do not invite the other disciple to my home, because my master, whenever we have an invitation, my master says, let us all go there. Anyhow, the dinner was served, and then they started talking, and the first disciple said, I did it. You see that? Thank you, master, you did not invite the other. Master said, what I have to do? I am a beggar, so wherever I get the food, I go there. But you are still keeping the other in your mind, and that guy is sleeping and resting beautifully. A perfect understanding of the jealousy. Mind keeps on thinking with that small compartment. Don't do that. But how do you remove that? By understanding, constantly understanding. Repeating, Commander-in-Chief, then we did joy in the sorrow, likes and dislikes, delusion. This is the way we reach to such a low level. When we have that small compartment alive, that will accumulate more and more sins. At least 4 or 5 emails that I receive, that is only depicting that jealousy. But you see that the moment if I respond straight away, you know what will be my position. So I avoid it. I don't send any response, or I send one-liner response. Simple one-liner response. No issue at all. I recognize this is the problem. But if I give the straight away reply, what will happen? Problem of indigestion. They will rebuke me. So I save my skin. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Being comfortable. Where I said being comfortable is rise in awareness. How to rise in awareness? By understanding, applying the knowledge. What is that knowledge? You look at the entire body. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So you see that from the physical awareness of the body to a physical subtle awareness of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. To, you remember, to the space. Space is awareness and awareness is space. Can we bring an end to the session from here? If the mind is totally absorbed into the space which is awareness, and awareness is the space. There is no need to the any further step, and that is what the highest state of the mindfulness is. That will reveal the knowledge, but it doesn't happen, and that is why we need to do it. Even if it happens, we need to do it. You see, I'm talking with reference to the today's topic. The mind has a compartment. I know it. I realized. Being carefree. Being carefree, I said 3 compartments of the mind, 3 lanes of the highway of the mind. First lane, unwanted, unwelcome thoughts are coming, let it come. Majority of them, 90%, belongs to the topic we discussed today. You'll be surprised if you go deeper into it. You may not agree. If you do not agree, no, I'm not teaching, this is not my principle. This is the principle of the teachers. So if your mind, if your intellect doesn't agree, that is what the small compartment is. So what should I do? I should use the knowledge to reach to that small compartment of the mind, to melt away, to remove that small compartment once and forever. That is one option. Or you allow the small compartment to become a volcano. What will happen is, I don't like, you don't like me, but do you like the knowledge? Yes, I like the knowledge. So keep on attending. I can give you hundreds of examples of subtle level of this problem. So anyhow, lane 1, thoughts are coming, unwanted, unwelcome thought. Lane 2, you become an observer, you become a witness, you become a knower. Oh, I am a knower. You become a knower, and that changes your entire state. That is what we have discussed in detail. Being a carefree, free from all the cares the mind does by the thought, feeling, inhibitions, habits, etc., etc. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Oh, whether this mantra is also helping me through the knowledge, through the understanding to get rid of these impurities of the mind, the answer is yes. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. You just remember, use that thought present in the prayer consciously is known as the prayer. How long you are going to repeat the same prayer again and again without any change? Which is blocking you? That small compartment. Understand it clearly. You have to contemplate and reflect and come to the same knowledge which our teachers are teaching. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu, let everyone be happy. Why the master says, it is not saying that my ego says I'm blessing everyone for happiness. No. Happiness is my essential nature. That's why I'm seeking happiness. So everyone is seeking the same happiness from all the living creatures. How their way is unconscious. Why? They don't know the Eastern wisdom. I know it. That makes a tremendous difference. This is known as the best prayer you can do. I'm also introducing, what it means by prayer, etc., worship. In Eastern wisdom, we define clearly. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. You have an extreme, you're having a jealousy, for example. You are reminding consciously the prayer. Peace is essential nature of every living creature, including the one with whom I have jealousy. Now see what happens. That is the key. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. I am complete, so others are also complete. Oh, really? Is there any question of the word that I discussed? Everyone is complete in oneself. Their expression may be different. Their name and the form may be different. Their shape and the color will be different. Gender and the caste will be different. What matters? That we both are complete. That understanding has to be settled to dissolve that little compartment and to prevent to become volcano. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let there be auspiciousness for all. From there we move to our three-step breathing practice. We have been doing it for 3 minutes. Looking deep inside the forehead in the space. Om Shanti. Keep on doing it mentally and gently, and start. Quick and short breath into the rib cage. And see if any objection comes from the mind. Get rid of that objection by understanding, not by force, not creating a conflict. Keep on, continue to purify the mind. That is why we are doing it. and stop it. So just after stopping, you recognize, you accept the changes that is taking place in terms of sensation, tingling, expansion of the body, or some vision and colors. That gives an idea that where the mind is. That is only the fact. Normally, sometimes those vision and colors are equated with such a beautiful experiences of the in the spiritual realm. It has nothing to do with it. Keep on doing the Om Shanti and start breathing from the belly. It's a longer breath. You expand the belly and you contract the belly. Why it is a longer breath? Lower lobes of the lungs are bigger than the smaller lobes of the lungs at the rib cage. We all know it. So that's why we do the longer breath. We facilitate the total expansion of the belly and the contraction with each breath, dropping the Om Shanti gently. Keep on doing. I'm going to change these steps as the time matures. So continue the journey. Long breath into another hissing breath into the belly without moving any rib cage. But yes, there will be a small movement. That's okay. But your focus remains on the belly with Om Shanti deep inside the forehead. You are dropping it gently. Body remains in the state of stillness during the journey. Why? We want to get rid of all those impurities. Ah, is that possible? Yes. And stop this. Recognize, accept the changes since and experiences. Recognize and accept all the experiences that is taking place. Because you are in a journey and you are conscious. So any issue that happens, that very intelligence takes care of it. Normally we make people scared. Oh, don't do this. There's a lot of misconceptions in this journey. And now is the time. Keep on doing the Om Shanti deep inside the forehead and start breathing both from the belly and the ribcage. It's a very long breath. You start breathing first into the belly, then into the ribcage. It reaches up to the throat, and then you exhale from the belly and the ribcage. So that is why I say it's a long hissing breath. Continue. Body is steady. Om Shanti continues. Long deep breath continues. We're in the field of awareness. So the more you do, the daily you do, you are dissolving that small compartment little. You are preventing it to become a volcano. This is what I wanted to convey to you all. It takes time. Beautiful. Keep on. One better indication shows me that everyone's body is steady, still. And stop this. Recognize and accept all the changes that is and the experiences that is happening at present. Why I say that? So that the experiencer is different from all the experiences. Experiences can change, come and go. What is our journey? We want to know who is this experiencer, and then who is beyond that. Beyond that is the real self. Experiencer is the pure mind. Oh. And now look deep inside the cave of your heart. Visualize a triangle, equilateral triangle pointing upward of any color in that dark space. And move the mind on each side of a triangle, dropping Om Shanti gently, slowly, so that you are aware of the side of a triangle, you are aware of the Om Shanti, you are aware of the movement of the mind, you are aware of the stillness in the body. Why you are saying this? In the field of awareness. But why? That very awareness is nothing but the pure consciousness, is the real self. We cannot practice in sleeping unconsciously, habitually. And once you find there is a sync, moving the mind clockwise and anti-clockwise, you find a perfect sync. There is no objection coming from the mind. That is the right moment. You have to choose to move the mind with the singing Om deep inside the center of a triangle, dropping deep into the cave of your heart, and then another point of attention. When the mind seemingly stops, drop Shanti and stop. Do nothing. Conscious self-absorption. You may have a thought, but there is a conscious self-absorption. Those thoughts may be too far. And now leave this, start with the japa. How you do the japa, that's a unique way of doing it. For a seeker, this is the perfect way. The mind's eye looks at the first point of the index finger. Mind's skin touches, says Om Shanti. So saying is coming from the mind's tongue. It's the mind's tongue, mind's skin, mind's eye, mind's ear are doing the japa. And the moment all the four jointly do it, you will start experiencing a tremendous vibes on those fingers and the points of the fingers. Now, people normally again align it with so-called spiritual. We have to pass through these experiences. Nothing special. Doing nothing, remain as you are. So when I say do nothing, and the intellect says, let me see what is happening, that is the greatest mistake you are doing. When I said do nothing, the intellect should also do nothing. How it is possible? The intellect is aware. That is all. Or intellect is waiting for something to happen. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. And if you have recognized any point of your jealousy at any point of time, you can also share it. I will not tell you the timeline. One guy means it may be a boy and a girl, who has been complaining in this group session, no, I do not have the experiences the way the others are having, and I'm really upset. And that guy left the session. What is the cause? Jealousy. I will tell you hundreds of ways, but we don't say that. And sometimes I request with a folded hand, please leave my session. It is not going to land you anywhere. But that I do in a very personal talk. Please don't attend. because it's not bringing you anything. Why? I have to follow the Eastern wisdom instead of little money. It becomes very challenging. That is why we have a tradition of a monk. Monk is taken care by the monastery. But the challenge is an opportunity. Yes, David and Jerry.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I firstly enjoyed the lecture at the beginning or the talk at the beginning. And for this meditation, I elected to lie down, which was a different experience for me, which kind of took some of the aspects of the body out of the equation and it just allowed my mind to be free.
Yeah, good.
So because of that, it was very deep and I enjoyed it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Your point that you lie down and that anyone can do that. So what is going to happen? You are doing a practice while laying down. Your mind on its own will demand you that now is the time to sit. No worries. You can meditate in any situation. It's a beautiful. Remember those events if you have in your life. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. I enjoyed the lesson. Jealousy, I think that we probably see that through our lives, and I feel like I don't know. I'm like I said, I've noticed it in myself through my life. I
No.
don't feel it.
Yeah.
I don't think I felt that for a very, very long time.
Beautiful.
And even as a youngster, I was happy for people that seemed to have more and compassionate for those that seemed to have less. And but I always kind of thought that that's just a outer layer that we don't really know what they have or they don't have anyways. And the bottom line is we all have the same thing, which
Yeah.
is that beautiful seed that's in all of us and that consciousness. So the outer layer that we see and we may make assumptions about really isn't real.
Right. Right, Jerry. This is what, if I summarize this in a way, in my own way, that jealousy remains present. It has to be minimized so that it does not dictate my sorrow and the joy. It does not dictate my likes and dislikes. It should not dictate my ignorance. And what is the simplest way? The moment you are appreciating someone, it's a matter of attitude. How wonderful you are. And internally you are saying it is because of one consciousness. Done. It's a matter of attitude. But it takes time to learn it and to apply in daily life. Every time you appreciate. But then we prevent our mind to move down. What is moving down? I drag myself. That dragging should not happen. And then what happens? In everyday life, we find hundreds of moments of those jealousy and we get rid of it. Thank you, beautiful. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good, thank you. Listening to the lesson today was again my taking that the Eastern wisdom has so much to learn and there's so much knowledge to be taken from this. And as I've explained to you before, I feel like I'm ascending this mountain. It's just slowly going around and we come back to the same point. It just becomes deeper and deeper. And I took today's lesson of jealousy, an extension of a single word, whether it be an emotion, a feeling that we have, that's really based on desire and ego.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so I tied it all back to the original, the teachings from over the last 3 years, and saying that it's another case of this, and it's being able to contemplate and reflect again, and to be able to look at every situation. And yet we call it jealousy, but the jealousy is driven by our own desire and ego, and we seem to be learning a lot to recognize the impurities
yeah.
in order for us to shift the thinking to just being that one consciousness, and living in peace and happiness all the time, and looking at other people the exact same way. So as
You
far as as far as
summarize.
the meditation, meditation today was just absolutely seamless. There was not a thought. It was like I absorbed lane 2 during your lesson, and the second we closed our eyes, went to lane 3, and the only thing I can tell you is that when we put our hands over our eyes, my the japa was being done in my right hand, and my right hand felt warmer than my left hand.
Yeah, yeah. Beautiful narration and explanation. You see, you look very handsome, but I have to look inside my mind. Is it coming from the jealousy? It's such a beautiful expression. So we are not talking at moral and ethical and the social level. We are talking at the level of our awareness. Mind, crazy mind, why you are saying that this guy is so handsome? It's a matter of attitude. And the mind says no, it is because of the beauty of the consciousness. It changes your attitude. Just try this, and I can give you hundreds. I told you 1,000,000 examples of this impurity. And the best part is that I say that this is the impurity. I means your intellect says this is the impurity. So I have to remove it. So 24/7 I am ready to do that. Beautiful. How are you, Brandy?
Morning, I'm good, thank you. I haven't had sleep in a couple nights, so when we came into the meditation, and you said like if you just come into the meditation, then you don't need to do all the rest. Just going into meditation was such a relief for me that I didn't realize I needed all the rest, but I did. So I just kind of feel like I've broken even today, which I'm grateful for that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, we should have a level of aspiration inside that I am going for a journey of the self-discovery. And then others are very smaller issues, whether you are not sleeping for so many days, really related to what we discussed today. Nothing more to talk about it. How are you, Christina?
Good morning. Thank you very much. I loved how you introduced jealousy. I found it's so sneaky, and it really sort of lent itself to that. And for me, it comes with emotional dependency.
Yeah, you're right.
And so yeah, and then during the meditation, I was back and forth between absorption and then the mind traveling off and then back again.
Yeah, yeah. You see, you have to give your own expression, what you experience and what did you understand, the way the David and Jerry and the Stephen and the Brandy and you all experiences, but ultimately it boils down to the same principle. I should remember those principles. It has to do with desire, what he said, desire, ignorance, likes and dislikes, sorrow and the joy, and ultimately we discuss the last point of the jealousy. You just recognize that is going to change our life. Thank you. You are already a You're a psychotherapist, so it's very easy for you to understand. No, no, I'm not comparing. Nothing to be jealous about it. So, so how are you, Dennis?
Fine, Guruji, thank you. Uh, for the jealousy, I think for myself, when I analyze my own mind through the intellect, I find that the jealousy gets subtle.
Yeah.
I find subtler levels of jealousy in me, and even if I look at myself, and the first answer I get from my mind is that jealousy is not about me. I'm not jealous about anything or anyone. But then going down this road of Eastern wisdom and analyzing my mind deeper and deeper, I find subtler levels of this
Yeah.
of this jealousy that need to be eliminated and eradicated. For the practice, yes, I think the mind got kind of natural focus
Yeah.
after the triangle exercise, and it was very calm. It was very calm and peaceful experience. Yes.
Beautiful. You see, everyone shares their experiences based on their mental evolution. So, Eastern wisdom always welcomes that. And he is pointing out that it is subtler and subtler level. At the outer level, we say, "Oh no, I'm not jealous. I'm okay. Even if the neighbor's car is good, then what? I'm not jealous." You are already jealous now. Why you are mentioning it? Why you are mentioning? So this is another subtler level. So like this, we have many subtler and the subtler levels in the very beginning, and still sometimes they come and they flee. Oh, this master! Wow, I'm jealous of this master. The way he's explaining. Well, even my mind says. But now that that jealousy, it flees away. Oh, I can see the level of his expansion and his experience in the journey. And that is why it happens. But it does not harm me. It does not create any sins. We have to be very careful not to accumulate the sins. I have already explained. Since we cannot visualize, we cannot see the sense inside, no possibility, but we can know its impact in our daily life. What is the impact? Unfavorable circumstances, conditions, relations, any issue that makes you unease. It has to, the root is sin, and the root of the sin is what we discussed today. So we have, yes, let us go to Terry. How are you, Terry?
The whole time I was stuck on, questioning myself.
Yeah.
And I was like that guy who keeps thinking about the monk. Like he's not enjoying the dinner. He's thinking about this guy that he doesn't like.
Yeah.
Because I had a person with me yesterday who wasn't really very nice and wasn't very helpful, and I'm still upset about it. So I was really thinking about that and saying, "Oh, am I so?
Yes.
Why can't I just go?" Trying to figure out, am I in that little compartment?
That guy
And
has already.
That
guy has come and has gone, and your mind is still.
It was just coming again next week, so I have to deal with it. But then right at the end of the meditation, I did feel, all of a sudden, for no reason, I did feel the complete
Very good.
calm and peace. But the whole rest of the time was in self-inquiry, I guess.
Yes, yes, yes. You
I felt a lot of like self-criticism and
and now
oh, I'm doing this very well and all that kind of stuff.
in the end you find the relief
Away at the end.
because you did the self inquiry. No issue. You can keep on doing the self inquiry. That is nothing but the contemplation and reflection. Never follow the wrong notion that mind means, oh, the meditation means that there is no thought at all. Day before yesterday, one guy had a free session before I accept with as a private session. So he said, well, I normally ask, what are your three important challenges? So he said, my most important challenge that I want in my life, there should be no thought at all in the mind. I said one option. I said one option. You don't need me. I told him frankly. You don't need me. One option. That you keep sleeping 24/7. Take all the drugs. Keep sleeping. And the second option is the death. I have heard a lot.
In other words, it's not possible.
It is not possible, but it is possible to separate myself from all the thoughts. Are you getting it?
Right.
No, in private lessons, I normally become tough. So, how are you, Samir?
Years back, when I was always trying to find happiness in outside things, all the anything outside. So I was suffering a lot with the problem of jealousy. But as soon as I started doing meditation and I started finding happiness inside me, then it started decreasing slowly, slowly.
Yeah,
I'm not telling that it is not there now, but it is at its minimum level.
yeah,
Means it is now it is not disturbing me.
very
It is
good.
there,
Yeah,
thoughts come, but those thoughts are not disturbing me now. But 5 years back, 10 years back, they used to disturb me a lot.
disturb you a
I
lot.
had sleepless nights just because of jealousy thoughts.
Yeah,
But now, as I am finding happiness inside me, I means ignore all these thoughts and they don't bother me.
yes, beautiful. Samir, your acceptance is appreciated. The moment we accept, then it means we recognize. When we recognize, we just change the attitude. That is the end of the jealousy. I believe you are getting it. Beautiful, admin. Now he also pointed out, you see that how the different principles of the Eastern wisdom is revealed in the mind. So he referred that when I pay more attention to the external world means what I discussed, I think in a week or last week, that I give a reality status to the world. Do you remember? So these things happens in your day-to-day life. Last one. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Sir, I'm good. Sir, as I recall, there are many instances where I compare myself with the outside world, and I see that like something is not going this way, or something is not going, why it is not going that way. So I see those instances, and I really recall
Yeah,
that it is coming out of something like maybe because of jealousy
yeah.
or because of that comparison that I'm doing.
Wow.
So it's keep my mind blocked into those impressions. It's not letting me free. So I can be like, if I drop that, I can be free and I can stay within me. So it is that is the piece I'm looking for. That
Yes, yes, you are revealing, your mind is revealing something great. oh, look at this guy, he's crazy, he's engaged in this and that, those issues, What I'm trying to do that? I am proving that I'm a pure guy. And look at this guy who is so impure. I can give you millions shades of jealousy. 1 million shades of jealousy. What to do? Live consciously before you blame and complain, before you react, and before we appreciate also. Our appreciation also contains the element of jealousy. So, how to get rid of it? You are so beautiful, and internally, it is because of the consciousness, not because you are different from me. Are you getting it? So then you will not have to spend sleepless nights. Then you need not to worry about the world outside. Very good. Thank you for understanding. We will meet again on Thursday. Thank you.